Hey, how's it going, everybody? It's Arcane Hulk here today, and today I have my second part of the video, and today we're going to be talking about some general PvE. Of course, in later videos we'll go more in depth and, we'll explore more things a bit more closely. But first off, I want to say we won't really be going over anything for, like, solo play. This will mainly pertain to the co-op side of Destiny. Prepping for PvE is a bit different from PvP. In order to prove, you're going to have to master multiple strategies and learn how to use every item at your disposal. You need to work on being a constructive team member and a leader. You'll need to be able to follow somebody, and at times you'll just have to be able to pick up the reins, just tell people what to do, when to do it. Mastering your class and gear is paramount and requires time. Preparation is the primary step to anything, and it's to pardon me. Preparation is the primary step to anything from smooth and successful raid runs to quick nightfall rewards. So you want to start with your loadout. Generally, this is going to be your armor and your gear. We'll start with exotics. I strongly urge every single one of you to try your best and collect every exotic item, as in every exotic weapon for your class and every exotic armor piece for your class and every exotic weapon. The reason for this is that every exotic has a quirk and can be used in specific encounters. For this, I'll specifically mention Super Good Advice. Super Good Advice, every time you hit an Oracle or an Oversoul, it counts as a miss, so that bullet has a chance to go directly back into the magazine, and you can pretty much continuously spray those over and over and over again. And heavy does do bonus damage, or not bonus damage, but it does do heavy damage, hence the name. And it really is a quick way to dispatch of oracles, and you can basically ignore one of the mechanics of the game. And also, armor gives you perks in some sets. For example, the Helm of Inmost Light grants you transfusion for your striker subclass. The Starfire Protocol give you a bonus grenade. Symbiote give you an extra gold gun shot. Stuff like that. So just make sure you're going to want to try your best. Xur has sold every exotic piece for every character so far. But if you're a newer player, you probably have most of the stuff you need. If you ever need tips or help or anything, you can check out one of the Xur videos. They're usually very helpful to help you prioritize which pieces you should get, which you should upgrade, so on and so forth. But generally, you want to get every weapon. You want to try it out. I'm not saying max it out, but at least get the upgrades on it to where you unlock their special perk. For example, the Red Death, whenever you get a kill, you instantly proc the health regeneration. So stuff like that, it'll really help you out. Next, what I want to talk to you about is legendaries, and mainly legendaries with specific skills. I'm going to take one that's one of my favorites, which is the Satyrian Rapier, or basically the Crucible version, or the Crucible Quartermaster version of the Fatebringer. What it is it shares very, very similar stats. It just has one more round in the chamber and less impact. But it has those Fatebringer perks, which are Outlaw and Firefly. You can also get this on the Galleon's Demise from the Iron Banner, and you can roll it on other scout rifles as well. And I don't think you can get on hand cannons, just the Fatebringer. So you really want to try and you want to make sure you get the best legendary guns possible. It is a bit rough sometimes because sometimes you get some awful rolls, but like I said, there are the alternatives that you can just buy from Crucible. You can buy from the Iron Banner Quartermaster, and they will drop from events as well, and you can also re-roll them from Iron Banner. So that's probably going to be the best way to go, because those weapons are very, very powerful. Galleon's Demise is just barely under Fatebringer in impact, and you can roll for Field Scout, Outlaw, and Firefly, stuff like that. Maybe even Hammerforge if you like to sit back in the map. But another thing is, you want to make sure that you get the perks that are right for a bunch of different encounters. So the reason I like Outlaw and Firefly is because I run Crota's End a lot. So I'm always constantly going through the Abyss, and Firefly and Outlaw help me to, I can clean out a group of Thrall with a few well-placed headshots. I can just completely wipe them out. Necrochasm doesn't work. But another thing is like rocket launchers. If you're going to go up against Crota a lot, make sure you have a rocket launcher that's tracking. Truth, Hunger of Crota. You don't need a Gjallarhorn, despite what everybody on LFG says. It is 100% doable without. My raid group, the first time we beat Crota, we all had Heathen Vengeance. So, yeah, it was pretty tough, but we all spammed our rockets all the time. We used a ton of synth. It took a long time, but we finally got through with it. Another thing is, for example, this is going to be the last thing I mention, is using Vault of Glass weapons in the Vault of Glass. The main reason for this is they have the Oracle Disruptor perk. Now, of course, since we are at a further level in the game, we understand the meta a bit more. We can use that, Super Good Advice trick if you want to run a Word of Crota, or you want to run your Galleon's Demise, some of these other weapons that you might have a bit more comfort using, because basically if you do that, you can ignore one of the mechanics inside of the vault. That whole Oracle phase just becomes trivial if you and your team are all equipped with super good advice, but it never hurts to have one guy with Fatebringer, or at least one person with the Vision of Confluence. Or, as has been recently discovered, the Atheon's Epilogue does have the fastest time to kill on Oracles, or fastest damage per second, I should say. And the next thing I want to talk to you about is armor perks and stat rolls. So I did make a video about this in my, or I talked about this mostly in my min-maxing video. If you want to check that out, there's a link down in the description below. But in case you don't want to watch it, just a quick rundown. Intellect, Discipline, and Strength. Intellect covers your supers, Discipline covers your grenades, and Strength covers your melee cooldown. The good thing about these is you can pick and prioritize some over the other. For example, I don't value Strength too much, so I have an absolutely 0 Strength build. And I can run like a, what is it, like a 90-something Intellect and a 90-something Discipline, or a 90-80 depending on how I switch up my loadouts. And there are multiple ways I can run it with different exotics. Since I have all the Titan exotics maxed out, I'm pretty much set up for any situation in every possible way that I can set up my class to get my desired effect, because I want to have those, I want to have high-end Discipline and Intellect. That's just the way I play, that's my style. Especially with the armamentarium of having double grenades, I have to have maxed out Discipline. The next thing is aiming for perks on armor such as the health from orbs in the Crota's and raid helmets. Now this is a gamble, sometimes you get lucky, sometimes you don't. I've had 3 raid helmets drop, only one of them has had the pick up health from orbs. But luckily, the Insurmountable Skullfort does the same thing, as well as Light Beyond Nemesis for the Warlocks. Not entirely too sure if Hunters have their equivalent. Not really too familiar with their class. And the final thing I just want to talk to you guys about is mastering your subclass. Now this is probably not as easy as you would think it would be, because there are many different ways that you can, customize things. For example, the Hunters were very popular at the beginning of the Crota's End raid because they can turn invisible. And a lot of people liked using them to get through the Gorgon's Labyrinth. Everyone would back out and then join as soon as they got through. I'm guilty of that as well. But that's besides the point. Another thing that they would do is in the Crota's End encounter, especially on hard mode for those groups that would cheese it, they would send their hunter, he'd just turn invisible, jump on the lamps, turn invisible, jump on the next lamp, and be basically invincible. Now, I'm not trying to bring cheesing into this, I'm just trying to provide examples. Another thing is the way my group runs the Crota's End encounter, at least for the Abyss area, is we try to synergize well with each other. So for example, I will drop an Armor of Light Bubble Shield with Helm of Saint 14 to proc the blinding that it does, and one of our hunters he'll go Blade Dancer, and he will use, I believe it's called Encore, the one where it does the AoE attack that's basically like a little mini Fist of Havoc. All my teammates in that phalanx just straight up hit me into a wall and one-shot me. OMG Bungie, the phalanx is OP, please nerf. Yes, but where was I? Oh my gosh, I got sidetracked. Encore inside Armor of Light. So I have, as I said before, Helm of Saint 14 for the blinding ability. Anything that walks in the bubble to hit us is maybe going to get 1 or 2 hits off us, and that's going to go completely blind. And then the Blade Dancer will just clean it up, make orbs for us. Generally, everybody will have full orbs whenever we get to that point. And we can sit inside the bubble, let our Weight of Darkness cool down. We can get bubbles from the Blade Dancer, and our Blade Dancer is just doing work cleaning up all of the ads. Another thing too, it works really well with the Nova Bomb, with the Warlocks with Obsidian Mind. I know a lot of them, the way they do it is they will wait until there's a huge group of Thrall, they'll Nova Bomb it, and they'll instantly get their Nova Bomb back. So again, that is a perfect way of mastering an exotic and using it to its full potential. Titans in Crucible, I know we're talking about PvE, but this is just a Crucible example for mastering your subclass. They can straight up lock down entire flags by themselves just because they're using Lightning Grenade. And Lightning Grenade doesn't last forever, but they have armamentarium, so they can throw one Lightning Grenade, and if they need to really protect the flag, they can just toss another one, or they can just toss both at 2 different angles and completely shut the zone down. It is a dead zone as soon as anybody lands in there for at least 5 seconds. Hunters and Warlocks are notorious for being very good with their classes because of the blink shotgun strategy. Now, from what I understand, this is very hard to master, and it's a very high risk, high reward type of setup. But, I can respect them for that. I have dabbled in the Warlock world a little bit, and I didn't care much for it. But Blink did seem interesting, and nonetheless, it is very tough. I'm not going to lie. I wasn't cut out for it, but there are a lot of people who are, and if they're blinking with a shotgun, as much as I hate them, they do pretty much deserve a lot of those kills. Except for the ones where they're blinking blade dancers, and they fly across the map, and they miss your rockets, or they blink out of the way of your super, and then they turn right back around and shotgun you, which is fairly annoying. But yeah, guys, that's the end of the video today. Thank goodness, I cannot English today. That's the end of the video today. If you enjoyed, please leave a like, comment any tips that you have for PvP. What helps you get to the next level? Tomorrow's video, we will mainly be mentioning like speedrunning-ish type stuff, like how you can master just the level. So we're just going to walk through the daily story mission. I'm going to talk about how normally someone would run through it and how I would run through it with the experiences that I have. So yeah, if you enjoyed and you like this little series that I have going on, go ahead and subscribe. That way you can see all of the videos. Again, the min-maxing video that I mentioned earlier is located down in the comments section below. And I'll see you all again very, very soon. Thank you.